I've got a seat out of the Senate.
A senator's chair. That's amazing. When you get elected to be a senator, they issue you a seat on the Senate floor. This is a lot of history right here.
I got an antique French horn.
That is definitely cool. It looks like something right out of Dr. Seuss.
The episode detonates out of the gate with pure rock and roll swagger when a woman walks in holding a custom guitar painted and played by Phil Collin of Def Leppard. She wants $10,000 to turn arena riffs into a new car for her daughter, and Rick instantly slips into nostalgic fan mode, though he knows better than to skip an expert.
So I'm assuming this is a guitar, not a gun?
It is a guitar.
Okay.
It's a very special guitar, one of a kind.
It's a very colorful guitar.
It is very colorful and beautiful too, you have to admit. Painted and played by Phil Collin of Def Leppard.
This isn't just another signed guitar tossed on a wall. It's one of only 30 hand-painted pieces, marked with Phil's Japanese signature and customized with a rare third pickup, making it uniquely stage-accurate.
This is really, really cool.
It is.
These are the guys who basically invented glam metal. I mean,
Without question.
you know, and then MTV came out, and I think half of what MTV played was Def Leppard. Hysteria came out in 1987, and that was bigger than Pyromania.
The vibe swerves hard when a seller rolls in with 1950s Mogan David proof ads and glass slides, convinced he's sitting on vintage marketing treasure. Rick delivers a full-on crash course in 4-color lithography, then politely shuts the door on the deal, leaving nostalgia without a paycheck.
We have the whole setup for the Mogan David ad, 1957, including the slides, the progressive proof
Okay.
that showed the whole process, and then it ended up to be in the Life magazine and other magazines right there.
Next up, hype meets heartbreak with LeBron James's autographed 2004 All-Star Game sneakers. The seller swears LeBron signed them mid-game, while Chumlee suggests they might be worth more without the autograph, which somehow isn't totally wrong.
I've got a pair of LeBron autograph shoes.
That's pretty cool.
These are actually the Wheat Edition ones. They're the 2004 All-Star Game ones, and they're a limited edition.
I've never actually seen these in person, but they might be worth more without the signature than with it.
An autograph expert confirms the signature is legit but messy, valuing the shoes at $350 to $400. Chumlee's $200 offer sparks a quick standoff, and the seller walks when $250 doesn't cut it.
The first thing starts off here, and we kind of see the same thing here. And he just kind of goes into this big mess here, and it looks like he either came off it strangely or just signed it abruptly. Another example of a signature, once again, he starts off here as almost a 2-3. You see here?
The seller exits talking championships and future value, while Chumlee pretends the deal didn't sting. Letting LeBron's autograph walk out hurts more than missing a wide-open layup.
You know, unfortunately, the rare shoe and the signature aren't gonna sell to the same customer. I could go up to maybe $250.
That's not enough.
What's your bottom number?
I'd say about 600.
It's not gonna happen.
All right.
Attention snaps back to the guitar, as Rick's friend Jesse confirms it's a legit Jackson artist proof from the brand's 30th anniversary lineup. Stock value hits $3,000, but with Phil's artwork and signature, it rockets into 5 figures, prompting a call for deeper expertise.
A lot of the more metal kind of guys and 80 guys gravitated towards because they're known for being extremely fast playing guitars. The tremolo system locks, so you can dive bomb on this guitar and the guitar will stay in tune really well.
Then the shop turns into a backstage miracle when Phil Collin himself walks in, alongside Joe Elliott. Phil casually confirms it's guitar number 3, strums a few notes, and suddenly, the pawn shop feels like a private concert.
So Jesse called someone he says will know all about it. I'm a little curious to find out who this is. Is that Def Leppard? No frickin' way.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, hi there. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Phil jokes about painting it years ago, while Joe tosses out band stories like party favors. Rick is glowing, the seller looks stunned, and reality TV briefly pauses for rock history.
30th anniversary, and for that I splash painted 10 more like practice run ones. And if it's one of the ones I did, I'd tell you really easy because it's got my signature on it.
Negotiations finally kick in, with the seller locked at $10,000 and Rick firing back at $8,000. They settle at $8,500, sealing a deal that comes with cash, bragging rights, and an unforgettable Def Leppard moment.
All things considered, I'm gonna say 10,000.
Let me give you $8 grand for it. I mean, I gotta make a little bit of money.
9,000.
Phil Collin did play it now. Let me give you 8,500 bucks.
I'll do it.
In the middle of all that, a woman tries unloading a broken antique carriage clock for $1,500. Rick winds it up, hears it wheeze, and explains repairs would cost more than it'll ever be worth.
It's brass. It's an antique carriage clock.
Okay, cool. This carriage clock design came along, I think, right around 1800-ish, somewhere around there. And they were sort of like a fashion thing, which I don't understand at all. My kids tell me this all the time. I'm walking out of the house and my daughters go.
The episode wraps with Rick riding the high of meeting rock legends while Chumlee completely misses the cultural moment. After legends jammed in the shop, Chumlee still caps it off with a joke, and somehow that feels exactly right.
Soundgarden?
Stone Temple Pilots?
I mean, these names are classic names.
I don't know.
Like Blind Melon. Melons can't even see, so it's a blind melon. Like, that's cool.
Rolling into a pawn shop with what's basically half a car takes confidence or delusion. Sean shows up with a stripped-down 1965 Shelby Cobra body, no engine, no wheels, no interior, and somehow still expects a payday, especially after admitting he got it for free just for towing it away. That's not flipping cars, that's scavenger hunting at an elite level.
If this is a real Shelby Cobra, this guy struck gold. Not only did I get it for nothing, but I got paid to move it.
How long has it been in your family?
Probably over 150 years.
That's cool, because the clock's not 150 years old.
Rick's initial excitement slams straight into reality when he realizes the Cobra is missing nearly every vital organ. But the mood shifts fast when Sean casually drops that the body is aluminum, not fiberglass, which is the first real sign this might not be a fake. Suddenly, that empty shell starts looking dangerously valuable.
Where did you get this thing?
I got a call about 6 months ago that they had an abandoned vehicle in a storage facility. They wanted it out of there. The people hadn't paid their bill, so I impounded it. I've towed a lot of vehicles from a lot of different properties in my day.
Sean insists he did his homework, claiming real Cobras were aluminum while replicas leaned fiberglass. Rick isn't convinced at all, especially knowing hundreds of replica companies exist, and he flat out admits he can't tell the difference himself. Translation: nobody's spending big money without backup.
Carroll Shelby is the king of the muscle car. He invented it, then he perfected it. A fully restored 1965 Shelby Cobra can be worth well over $100,000.
I sent out all the lien letters trying to notify the legal owner.
Out of nowhere, a new customer strolls in thinking he owns one of the earliest clocks ever made. Rick doesn't even let the fantasy breathe before crushing it, bluntly saying the guy has no clue what he's holding, which is peak Pawn Stars energy. Plot twist: it's not a clock at all, but a WWII ship's chronometer.
I got a timepiece.
Okay.
It's probably, I think, one of the first clocks ever made. I'm serious. It's been in my family forever.
How long has it been in your family?
Probably over 150 years.
Okay.
And
that's cool, because the clock's not 150 years old.
Rick explains how these devices were critical for navigation, where a tiny error could send ships completely off course. The seller looks overwhelmed while Rick geeks out, but the excitement dies fast when the chronometer won't run. Asking $1,000 for a dead precision instrument? Yikes.
What this was used for was, way back in the day, before there was GPS, there was only one way to tell where you were at in the world. You could look at the sun or the stars and figure out your latitude, east, west.
Right.
But you want to figure out where you are.
Rick tries winding it, tapping it, coaxing it, nothing. He fires back with $500, they argue it up, and the deal lands at $700, which is either a steal or a very expensive paperweight. Rick looks thrilled, the seller looks annoyed, and fate takes the wheel.
And I don't know what it's going to cost me to fix it.
So, what do you think, 1,000?
I'll offer you $500 for it, it's pig in a poke. Okay, I might make a home run off you if it costs me $50 to get it fixed because there's just something stupid. If it's something major, it's parts.
Then the shop gets prehistoric. A guy walks in carrying fossilized shark teeth, including one from a Megalodon, and Rick immediately reminds everyone this thing came from an absolute nightmare of an animal. An 80-foot shark doesn't swim, it dominates.
I want to get rid of them, but I do need money because I just started my own business.
So where'd you get these?
Well, when I was 12 years old, I was on a family vacation. My mom picked this up for me. And ever since then, I've been collecting them. I pick them up whenever I go to a gift shop or travel anywhere and I find one.
The seller wants $1,000 to help launch a business, and Rick doesn't hesitate. Either the guy comes back and pays interest, or Rick flips the teeth for triple the money, which is the definition of a low-stress investment. Meanwhile, my fear of the ocean triples.
And you want to pawn them?
Yeah, I'd rather pawn them than sell. It's mean too much to me to sell them.
Okay.
When you pawn something, you're not selling it. What you're doing is you're giving me merchandise, I'm holding it, I'm loaning you money against it.
Back to the Chronometer gamble. Rick brings in Ferdinand to see if he just burned $700. Ferdinand opens it up, finds cork jammed inside, removes it, and suddenly the thing ticks like nothing was ever wrong. Just like that, $700 turns into a $2,500 win.
My name's Ferdinand, and I'm an expert in watches and clocks. Watches and clocks are unique because in a way they're functional pieces of art. Oh, a little beauty.
Yeah, chronometer.
The ship's chronometers are unique because they have to adhere to a time standard.
Now it's Cobra time. Shelby expert Mark examines the body, checks the details, and finally reveals the chassis number starting with CSX, the Holy Grail identifier. It's real, valued at $60,000, and Sean looks like his soul briefly left his body.
I'm the president and owner of Nevada Classics and Shelby Cars Northwest. So Rick, what are your concerns about this?
Well, my concern is that this is a Shelby.
There are over 100 companies that make a replica of a Cobra, and while they look the same on the street, they're not the same car.
Negotiations turn brutal fast. Sean asks for $50,000, Rick fires back with $25,000, and the tension gets thick enough to choke on. Big Hoss steps in at $30,000 cash, and considering Sean paid nothing for it, that offer starts sounding real friendly.
I mean, for the love of God, you got it for nothing.
Doesn't matter what I got it for, it's what it's worth.
Let's go 25.
I can't go 25.
Well, you got to look at it from my position. I mean, are you ever going to have to spend $100,000 to get this thing running?
No.
Would you rather bring it home and put it in storage and let the thing rot? Or do you want to sell it to a guy like me who's going to fix it up?
As if things weren't chaotic enough, a power kite enters the building. Chumlee grabs the controls, immediately loses control, and nearly turns Kite flying into an OSHA violation while Big Hoss looks seconds away from unplugging him. Comedy writes itself here.
Earlier today, I got a call about a quad kite, so me and Big Hoss are going to check it out. This is going to be awesome.
I made my first kite out of a paper bag.
So what can you tell me about the kite?
The really interesting thing about this particular kite, the Sky Tiger 1.8, is the first of its kind.
The seller just wants $75, Big Hoss passes, and Chumlee's aerial disaster wraps up with 0 injuries and maximum embarrassment. Only on Pawn Stars can six-figure cars and flying kites share the same episode.
So how much you want for it?
Chumlee, let's actually see this thing fly before you start.
Can we see it in action before we negotiate?
By all means. But the kite's quite powerful. They can't pick, a 200, 300-pound man up into the air.
Getting to watch Chumlee try to fly this kite is going to make it well worth coming out here.
The Cobra's final chapter delivers the payoff. Fully restored in Shelby blue, built with cost-saving choices, and valued at $159,000, it hits the track where Rick pushes it hard while the old man cruises like it's Sunday church traffic. Somewhere, Carol Shelby is absolutely judging them.
So guys, before we deliver a car to a customer, we always test drive. Which one of you wants to do that?
Well, that's why they brought me. I'm the guinea pig.
Chumlee, you're not allowed within 10 feet of this damn car.
The episode explodes out of the gate with pure confusion. A guy walks in holding what looks like a key, until it turns out to also be a gun. Rick squints at it like reality just glitched, cracking jokes while the room fills with "what did I just see?" energy. This is chaos already, and it's only the opening seconds.
A key and a gun. I just can't figure out if they took a key and made a gun, or they took a gun and made a key out of it. I don't know what the hell this thing is.
What we have here is a trophy that was out of Jeff Gordon's personal collection.
Next up is a seller flexing NASCAR history, rolling in with a 1997 Jeff Gordon American Sports Writers Association trophy. He claims it came straight from Gordon's personal stash via a '98 charity auction, and Rick's interest spikes, but not without immediately asking the big question, where's the proof?
What do we got here?
What we have here is a personal Jeff Gordon trophy that was presented to him in 1997 by the American Sports Writers Association.
Oh, okay. Thought it was a hood ornament.
This is only handed out once a year to the top 5 drivers in NASCAR, so it's a very valuable piece.
The seller doubles down, stressing these trophies aren't churned out like souvenir hats, and Jeff Gordon's name alone carries weight. Rick isn't dazzled, reminding everyone that NASCAR collectibles flood the market, and without airtight paperwork, rarity doesn't always equal resale gold.
Jeff Gordon's kind of a special driver who's actually, at this point in time, is 4th all-time in NASCAR wins. And his fan base is one of the biggest in NASCAR. There was a pretty good feud for years going on between Dale Earnhardt and him. He's a pretty special driver. Back in 1997, this was the year that he won the Daytona 500, and that's why this is a pretty special piece.
Money talk hits fast. The seller wants his original $1,000 back, Rick slams the brakes with a low ball, and the back and forth turns tense. Rick finally lands at $500, the seller caves, and that exhale says everything. Welcome to Pawn Shop Economics.
So did you want to pawn it? You want to sell it?
I'd like to sell it. It's just time to cut my collection down.
How much you want for it?
I'd really like to get $1,000 for it today. I paid that much for it, and I really believe that a personal trophy like this should hold its value very well.
Then things take a classy left turn when a man presents tiny hand-painted portraits of Napoleon and Josephine. Corey and Chumlee immediately roast him like he brought in antique selfies, but the seller insists these heirlooms have deep French family roots, and suddenly the old man's listening.
Hey, what do you got here? Well, I have an antique portrait of Napoleon and an antique portrait of Josephine.
Hey, old man.
Why?
Some guy found high school photos of you and Grandma.
Yeah, right.
Cue the return of Weird. The key gun guy explains he snagged it from a flea market key box for 40 bucks. Rick realizes it's an early matchlock mechanism, basically the prehistoric ancestor of a trigger, which is cool, unsettling, and wildly impractical all at once.
How can I help you?
I just trying to sell this thing. It's a key, gun.
A key and a gun. If you have a gun on your key, you might live in a really bad neighborhood.
Oh, it's nasty, I'll tell you.
Now it's negotiation time, and the seller aims high at $1,100. Rick nukes that dream with a $200 offer, calls it a gamble, and refuses to budge, eventually forcing the seller to accept a quick profit and walk.
So what do you want for it?
$1,100.
No. You know how you paid for 40 bucks for this and took a shot in the dark? I'm paying 200 bucks and taking a shot in the dark.
Yeah, how about 500?
No, I'd go like 200 bucks.
250?
I just don't know enough about it.
All right, what the heck?
Okay. Rick brings in arms expert Sean, who immediately confirms the piece is handmade and likely from the 1600s, possibly a jailer's weapon key hybrid. It hits that magical overlap of two collector worlds, instantly making it way more interesting.
Well, I bought this yesterday. It was a complete shot in the dark.
I'm an expert in antique arms and armor, primarily from the 16th century through the 18th century. I've been in this business for at least 25 years as a collector and a dealer.
Sean drops the bomb. In the right auction setting, this oddball could hit $1,200 to $1,500. Rick's gamble officially levels up, and you can practically see the gears turning as Sean's expert visit quietly turns into a buying opportunity.
I really don't understand it, why anyone would even make the thing.
This could have belonged to, a jailer in the 17th century. If you were to put just a bunch of buckshot in here, it would ruin your day. But is it practical?
No.
Rick cuts straight to it, asking Sean what he'd pay. After a little friendly haggling, they lock in $450. Easy profit, zero risk, and another story Rick gets to tell forever.
So what would you give me for it?
Well, I don't know. I would definitely give you a profit. Realistically, what do you want for it?
I'll take 500 bucks for it.
Back to Napoleon. Corey's expert friend Greg dates the portraits to the 1850s, part of a Second Empire nostalgia craze. The twist? The iconic Napoleon image used wasn't even painted during his lifetime, and the artist may have used his own face, which is honestly incredible.
Whenever the guys have an item in French history from that period, they give me a call. They're most likely from the 1850s, from the first decade of the Second Empire, when Napoleon III had taken power in France and was trying to draw a link to his uncle, Napoleon.
Negotiations heat up with the portraits. The seller asks $600. Corey counters with cold resale math, and they settle at $425, enough to fund the move and give the shop a pair of classy, conversation-starting pieces.
What are you looking to get out of it?
How about 600 bucks?
I can't work that close, Corey.
Yeah. If you want, I could make you an offer for about half of what Greg said at 400.
Then comes heartbreak. A woman rushes in convinced she's holding a carved ivory tusk worth serious money. Rick gently dismantles the dream, pointing out it's bone over wood, a tourist souvenir, and her disappointment hits instantly.
What do you mean it's not ivory?
This is bone. It's pieced together bone, and it's made for the tourist trade. It only took like 2 seconds to tell this wasn't ivory. I've seen this hundreds of times before. They were in Asia. They went to a market. They were told they were ivory. They spent a lot of money on them.
Finally, absolute madness closes the episode when a life-sized Red Power Ranger statue appears, rescued from a dumpster and modified with a phone charger. Corey and Chumlee can barely process it, but Corey shuts it down fast. Some treasures are meant to stay in the wild.
So what can you tell me about this thing, man?
Well, he's a life-size Power Ranger. He's about 5'8". I think he's made out of fiberglass, and his head comes off.
That's pretty cool. You ever throw him in the car and ride in the carpool lane?
A seller steps in carrying a Victorian Mourning lithograph that looks like it belongs in a haunted parlor, not a pawn shop. Rick explains how grief was basically a public performance back then, but at $400 and with visible wear, the mood instantly turns grim.
Hey, how can I help you?
I have brought you in a creepy but cool Victorian-era mourning lithograph today.
It's interesting. This was a common thing back in the late 1800s. It was the way people mourned. They would hang this creepy thing in their house.
Rick continues unpacking the era's obsession with ritualized mourning, where sorrow had a timetable and decor announced it loudly. It's historically fascinating, but once condition problems enter the chat, the collectible appeal drops fast.
When someone passed away, you were supposed to stop your clocks in the house.
Wow.
All the curtains were to be drawn for so many months. It was a little macabre and depressing. And this would have been right in the middle of the living room or something like that. You were only supposed to hang it up for a certain period of time, then bring it down and bring the happiness back in the house.
That tiny tear seals its fate. Rick points out that fixing it would wipe out any profit, and just like that, the deal flatlines.
This one, we have a tear in it. Even if this was worth $400, it would cost me $400 to get the tear repaired. The fact of the matter is, there's just no money here.
You have no interest in this piece?
Yeah, dude, no interest whatsoever.
Energy spikes when a seller rolls in with a Nepalese Bira Gun and casually asks for $30,000. Rick looks stunned. This thing is massive, bizarre, and looks like it escaped from a steampunk fever dream.
Did you get this thing from Jules Verne? So what exactly is this?
This is an original Nepalese Bira Gun.
I can honestly say I've never actually seen one of these, but it's pretty amazing.
I think there are probably less than 25 around.
You can ask my wife and kids. I always have something to say, but I'm a little speechless at the moment.
The seller explains it was handmade in Nepal in the 1890s and fires old Martini Henry rounds, which immediately grabs Rick's attention. But before anyone gets excited, Rick flags the legal nightmare if it dates past 1898 and calls in Mark Hall Patton to lock this down.
It was handmade in Nepal, primarily because the British would not give the Nepalese fast, rapid-firing guns at that time.
What does it shoot?
This shoots very old 5.77 450 Martini Henry.
Okay.
I think what happened is the Nepalese had so much stock of that round.
A new item breaks the tension when a seller brings in a Bob Peak silkscreen mural made for TWA, pulled straight from storage. Corey knows Peak's legendary status, but airline art plus corner damage makes this a question mark.
What do we got here?
I have got an original Bob Peak
All right.
silkscreen on canvas print from the 70s.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the biggest movie poster guy in the history of cinema.
Yeah, and he did a lot of commercial work too.
The seller explains this mural represents Asia, part of a limited regional series, and hopes it escaped the usual fate of discarded ad art. Everyone waits on the expert because this could be trash or treasure.
I think there's a lot of things you could do with that kind of money, and I think the safest thing to do would be to spend it.
What you have here is pretty cool. Do you know anything else about it?
So he did 4 of these, and I spoke to his son via email, and his son told me this is the mural he did for the Asia continent. He did one for each region of the world.
All right.
Back to the gun. Mark Hall Patton lays out the history, explaining Nepal's rush to create firepower using surplus British ammo. The key detail lands hard. These were only made from 1896 to 1897, making the gun fully legal and wildly rare.
This is nice. A Bira. It was named for the king of Nepal. It's a Nepalese gun. It was actually developed by a General Gehendra Shamshur Jang Bahadur Rana.
Plans are made to test fire it, and Mark casually mentions it weighs over 1,000 pounds like that's normal. Rick's excitement is barely contained. This is history, spectacle, and resale gold wrapped into one monster machine.
Actually ended up being the first country to recognize Nepal as a separate country. And so Nepal ended up being an ally of England. They ended up giving them a couple of million rounds.
Art expert Gary arrives and flips the Bob Peak conversation on its head. This isn't a poster. It's the last surviving original mural from a TWA first-class lounge, valued between $2,500 and $5,000.
To me, it always seems with a lot of posters, I mean, once a new poster came out, these kind of just got torn down and thrown away, right?
That's correct.
But this is not a poster. This is actually
the last remaining original Bob Peak large format serigraph that was used inside the TWA lounge.
Corey jumps in with $1,250, citing framing costs, while the seller counters confidently at $2,000. After a brief stare down, they settle at $1,500, and Corey walks away with instant upside.
So you still want $750?
Your expert has changed my mind on that.
I'll tell you what, it's a big piece, man. It's gonna require a lot of work. Do like $1,250. I've got to frame it. It's a giant frame with a giant piece of glass. I'm sure you know that ain't cheap.
Next up is an antique French horn that looks whimsical but suspicious. Rick questions the 1942 date immediately, noting occupied France wasn't exactly exporting novelty brass instruments.
What is that?
I think it's a Lithograph French horn.
To be honest, I haven't seen one of these things before, but it looks like something right out of Dr. Seuss.
Looks like a car horn to me.
I guess it could have been used on a car, or more looks like something off a calliope, maybe.
Don't you think it would be built better? Maybe like a horse horn?
We're all in agreement it's a horn.
Rick explains that heavy wear, missing parts, and sloppy repairs crush any real value. The seller leaves disappointed but hopeful, proving once again that online prices lie.
And how much do you want for it?
$1,000.
And how'd you get that price?
I looked it up online and I seen a few that looked similar like that, so I thought, hey.
It wouldn't surprise me if one of these things would go for $1,000 in great shape.
Everything comes down to the Bira Gun after the desert test. The expert values it at $27,500. Negotiations get tense, and Rick finally locks it in at $20,000, calling it one of the coolest guns he's ever owned.
The fact of the matter is I got to resell this thing. And quite frankly, there's not a lot of people that are going to come in my shop every day. Hey, do you have one of those Bira guns from the Himalayas? $20,000 is the most I can do. It's the most I can pay and still make sense. Plain and simple.
I can do 20,000.
All right, sweet.
The episode kicks off with instant political swagger when a guy rolls in claiming he owns a Senate chair tied to Senator Pat McCarran. Rick's eyes sparkle as he explains senators get assigned their own seats, but with a $3,500 asking price and zero proof, this could just be an overhyped office chair with a good backstory.
I've got a seat out of the Senate.
A senator's chair. That's amazing. When you get elected to be a senator, they issue you a seat on the Senate floor. This is a lot of history right here.
I got a picture of the Gemini launch. Got a whole bunch of autographs, a lot of the astronauts. Buzz Aldrin's on it right here.
Rick breaks down McCarran's legacy, Depression-era politics, wartime decisions, and moments that shaped the country, all possibly witnessed from this very chair. He plops down in it, jokes about feeling more important already, but quickly realizes history this big needs backup, so the expert call goes out.
What do we have here?
I've got the seat of power.
Okay.
It belongs to Senator McCarran.
Or at least it used to. He hasn't been around for a while. I mean, this was McCarran's chair. It's got a lot of history to it.
Got a squeaky chair.
While that simmers, the shop turns into a construction zone thanks to Rick secretly building the old man a new office. Pops hates it immediately. Corey piles on with sleep jokes, and the old man responds with maximum grump energy and zero intention of moving.
Hey, Pops.
What?
We're going to give you an office.
I don't want an office.
It's going to have a couch and a desk so you can work in there and everything else.
Your own bathroom.
Rick, I'm happy exactly where I'm at. I know what I'm doing. I sit here, I see what's going on in the store.
Next up is Space Age Hype, a Gemini launch photo covered in astronaut signatures, allegedly including Buzz Aldrin. Corey nerds out over NASA history, but without authentication paperwork, this moonshot could crash back to Earth fast, so he brings in an autograph expert.
Where'd you get that?
I was going through my grandfather's stuff. He was a fighter pilot for the United States Air Force. I fly for the Air Force now. Figured might bring it down here, see what you guys think.
Flying this kind of stuff is like the holy grail for you guys, right?
Holy grail.
Yeah,
so, I mean, this is like the peak of the peak, you know, the mountaintop.
Then NASCAR enters the chat with a Ryan Newman fire suit pulled from a warehouse cleanout. The seller's price jumps around. Rick jokes about wearing it himself, but without race use proof or signatures, the suit feels more like cosplay than collectible.
Where'd you get that?
I was cleaning out a warehouse, actually, working for a company. Found a box with the suit, the gloves, and they said, take it.
Have you tried it on?
Actually, I did, to see how it actually fit.
I've worn them before. They're hot, aren't they?
Yeah.
Ridiculously hot.
The autograph expert finally weighs in on the Gemini photo and confirms Aldrin's signature is legit, along with several others. The catch is the lesser-known names tank the value, leaving Corey lowballing and the seller stuck deciding if history is worth settling for less.
Just that Gemini piece we're talking about?
Yes, it is. I know Buzz Aldrin, Grissom, but that's all I see on there that I know.
Right. You failed to notice probably the most important signature, if it's authentic.
Back at the shop, the old man doubles down on his hatred for the new office. Rick promises upgrades, comforts, and perks, but Pops makes it clear this isn't about furniture. It's about territory and pride.
This is nice. What is it, Rick?
This is your new office. Big power desk, you got your computer right there, couch. Try the desk out.
Yeah, this will work.
We did it, guys. I think he actually cracked a smile.
The Newman fire suit faces reality when Rick explains that without proof it was worn in a race, it's basically fan gear. The seller drops his price, Rick drops it harder, and the deal dies quietly as the suit leaves the shop untouched.
Let's face it, it's not Dale Earnhardt, it's not Tony Stewart, it's Ryan Newman.
500?
I'll go 400.
450?
No, 400.
450. You got to strip down the street, you'll get rid of it.
Give him 450.
Finally, the Senate chair gets verified, and the expert confirms it's authentic, from the leather to the nameplate. After some tense back and forth, Rick locks in a deal and officially adds a literal seat of power to the collection.
It has the right age on it, the right patina on it, given what it looks like, given the design and all of that. I think you've got the real thing. This was Patrick McCarran's chair.
The episode wraps with history colliding from every angle. Politics, space, racing, and non-stop family friction. Between priceless artifacts and relentless old man commentary, the shop feels like chaos wrapped in Americana.
How about 5,000?
I will go $3,000, and that is it.
3,500.
I'll go 3,100 and not a penny more.
Okay.